Hey guys, so I wanted to do this video on the solar eclipse happening. And first I want to go over eclipses in general. So we'll start off with that. So solar eclipses are actually more frequent than we might think. There could be up to like 2 to 5 solar eclipses in 1 year. The last time there was a solar eclipse, 5 solar eclipses anyway, was back in 1935. So yeah, that's the most amount that you can have in 1 year. And they predicted that there won't be 5 solar eclipses within 1 year until 2206. So that'll be the next time that would be possible of happening. But in general, it can range from 2 to 5. So with lunar eclipses, in general, it's 2. So 2 every year. There could be 3, but the cycles occur within the time frame in between is usually less than 6 months, a little bit less than 6 months. And so it's quite normal to have just the 2 eclipse seasons. All right. So now that we're done with that explanation there, I want to talk about this year's eclipse seasons. So the first solar eclipse of this year, 2023, was actually back in April, on April 20th, and it was in Aries. So Aries is the opposite sign of Libra. And what's interesting is how this plays out in a very symbolic way, right? Back when the first solar eclipse happened in the sign of Aries, the collective North Node, according to Western astrology, was still in Taurus. After the solar eclipse happened in Aries, a couple months later, the collective North Node switched to Aries. And now here we are with another solar eclipse, but now in the sign of Libra, the opposing sign of Aries, the polar opposite, and the North Node being in the sign of Aries. So I bring that up because the eclipse seasons connect to each other. They work together to bring a combined theme for every individual. And it's going to be different for everyone. Like, we can give off like a generalization of what the themes could be according to the rising signs, of course, but even that is it's very surface level still. But it does help to give a little bit of a peek of what the themes could be around, right? You'd have to go into your own personal chart in order to find more in-depth analysis on the aspects that are being made in your chart, according to all the planetary placements. So, because everyone's planets are placed differently in their charts, in different houses, aspecting different planets in their chart and all that stuff. So, so let's see. Yeah, and this is basically going to be according to rising signs, everyone's rising sign. So Aries rising, I want to start from Aries and then I'll go all the way down to Pisces. The first eclipse was in your first house, and this eclipse now is going to be in your 7th house. The themes are going to be around self-awareness, your relationships, important changes to yourself, your appearance, but like your relationships might take the back seat. So you're going to prioritize more of your appearance, your reputation, and all that stuff. Taurus rising, the first eclipse was in your 12th house, and then now it's in your 6th house. This could have themes around increased need for isolation, potentially moving or traveling abroad more, the need to separate yourself from negative influences in your life, or even negative work experiences. So leaving a job or associative commitments, right? Gemini rising was in your 11th house, the first eclipse, and then the 5th house this time. Emphasis will be on community and the desire to make friends and allies. Gaining the support of patrons. This could be accompanied by less creativity. So you might not be as creative as you normally would be. You might not have as much of a high impulse to seek like freedom like you normally would back in the day, if you have that type of personality, that is. So you're going to more so contribute this to more local and secure, like communal, tangible agreements. So you're not going to have as much of a travel bug that you normally would have. But yeah, Cancer rising. The first eclipse was in your 10th house, and this eclipse is going to be in your 4th house. This is going to be about expanding your reputation and work towards life goals and ambitions. Desire to extract yourself from your roots and familiar environment, to venture out more into like something worldly, more ambitious. So you're going to go after your dreams more, but you'll always have your family and your home in mind. But this is almost pushing you out of your comfort zone, because 4th house is your house, Cancer. That is your house that you rule. So this is going to be very emphasized for you. This eclipse season, I feel, is really about pushing the Cancer risings out there, out of their comfort zone more than ever. Moving on to Leo rising. So the first eclipse was in your 9th house. The third eclipse this time is going to be, the second eclipse is going to be in your 3rd house, rather. So this is going to be around getting deeper, themes of getting deeper into esoteric knowledge, spiritual studies, going back into your, seeking to get higher education, a desire to travel. You're going to have more of the travel bug, basically, and seek more adventures. Topics around siblings, routine, mundane trips, or like your neighborhood or roommates could be disrupted in some way, though. Virgo risings. The first eclipse was in your 8th house. This eclipse is going to be in your 2nd house. So the theme here is getting or increasing a mortgage, loan refinancing is possible. Because keep in mind, 2nd house and 8th house are both financial houses. The 8th house represents other people's money and resources. 2nd house is your security, your material gains. So, as well as an increase in taxes or financial support that you either provide or that you receive. So greater spending or decluttering, getting rid of old things that are no longer needed. Libra risings. The first eclipse was in your 7th house, and this eclipse is going to be in your 1st house, Libra. So this emphasis is mainly, there's a huge emphasis on relationships for you, Libra. This is another big year for you. Centering around your people that are close to you. You're really going to be exploring about how you relate to others, and you're going to pick apart the aspects that mean the most to you. What relationships nurture you the most, and how do they nurture you? So you're really going to deep dive into that a lot more. You're going to have a decreased need to focus on your appearance all the time, which is actually, that's not normal. That's not considered the norm for a Libra rising individual, to not focus on their appearance and their reputation. A lot of times, that's what they normally would do. They make sure to always have themselves very well put together. Their appearance is everything, and all that kind of stuff, and their selves. Not to say in a selfish way, but Libra risings have that tendency. So, so this is going to be more like you're going into the deeper side of yourself, the deeper roots of what a soul connection is. So that's awesome. Scorpio risings. The first eclipse was in your 6th house, and this eclipse is going to be in your 12th house. Now, emphasis on routines for you, Scorpio. the repetitive aspects of life, which is kind of boring when you think about it. It's the kind of the more mundane tasks that you have to kind of put more focus towards for you. And then you'll really you'll be reflecting a lot about what do you have to do for the sake of your own security, for your own security, and for to be of service to your own self, the sake of your own service. So acknowledging what doesn't serve you any longer and working towards those, or working through those rather, plus spending more time with pets. And yeah, that relates to the sixth house, because the sixth house is the house of Virgo. Virgo rules the sixth house, and that house also talks about pets as well. Believe it or not, yes, pets are involved. And if you don't have any pets, then, well, maybe you should get one, because for all you know, it could be very healing for you. So just think about that if you don't have any. Sag risings. All right, so first eclipse was in your fifth house, Sagittarius, and now it's going to be in your 11th house. This is going to be, I think, more fun for you, Sag. It's not as heavy of a, theme here. Emphasis on the creative process will be the focal point for you. Finding joy, pleasure in the things that you put into the world. You can be more artistic, more creative. You're embracing your fifth house. Fifth house themes are fun, playful, children, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, spending time with your kids, maybe if you have any, or maybe with your relatives, really being a child at heart again. And thinking about what makes you feel true happiness. Really trying to figure that out for yourself. What really makes you happy? There will be less time spent on community activities that are outside of that. And you're not going to be as interested as like having to meet new people. So it's mainly going to be about what you already have around you that you're going to put more focus on. Capricorn risings, the first eclipse was in your fourth house, and this eclipse is going to be in your 10th house. So reconnecting with your roots, your hometown, your family, greater appreciation for your home life, spending more time with your plants. Yes, plants. Plants. Because fourth house is the house of Cancer. Cancer is the mother. What is mother? What is the nurturer? I always think about the earth, Mother Nature. She gives life to all the plants, all the florals and the shrubbery and all that stuff, trees and plants. So if you don't already have a garden, then you should start one and start gardening, okay? Less emphasis on your career and reputation, which, again, this is a great example of almost like roles being reversed. Things are being brought up to the surface that aren't natural to that rising sign or the persona that we give off. So we're going to embrace something that doesn't really show as a natural energy, right? It's going to be more of the backstage. Capricorn is usually the center. I'm the hard worker, career oriented, everything's about reputation type of look. Well, right now, it seems that the themes could be more so revolving around taking backstage, or taking the back burner and hanging out backstage. You get what I mean. And Aquarius rising. So the first eclipse was in your third house, and this eclipse is going to be in your ninth house. Learning languages. Maybe you're going to have an interest to learn a new language. Increasing appreciation for your local environment. The magic of daily life and your neighborhood. So if anything, it's kind of like you're more so embracing the more mundane things. And, but, there's going to be more familiar trips and destinations. So maybe not too expansive to where, you still could, but maybe just not, oops, I hope that didn't make a loud noise. Maybe not about too many spontaneous trips, which normally with Aquarius, I always think about unpredictable spontaneity. Well, this theme is definitely not spontaneous or unpredictable. It sounds very predictable, very mundane. So that's what the theme and focus will be for you. There will be less interest in academia or major travels, like I was just saying. It's going to be less focused on major big travels, but yeah, more local stuff. And last but not least, Pisces rising. So the first eclipse took place in your second house, and this eclipse is taking place in your eighth house. Important material gains, gaining a better budget and finance skills, which is not natural for Pisces. I mean, it's the truth, okay? Acquiring long-lasting quality things into your life. Material support, which helps you flourish. And you learning how to become the main provider, right? Taking the lead role and learning these boring adult-like skill sets that Pisces hate. Hell, I hate it too, okay? No one likes it. And if someone actually likes that, enjoys that, well, then I'm jealous because it's very difficult. It doesn't come natural for me either, okay? So, anywho, I hope you guys liked it. I definitely love astrology. That is something I desire to dive into more. And it actually goes... this is probably the perfect time for me, right? I'm a Leo rising, and Leo rising, this is the time to go into higher studies. So perhaps taking a course on astrology would be a great idea. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace out.